Hello and welcome to this week's Vintage Talk. Here in my archive, and this week I have another restoration video for you. And I want to talk about how I restored this early 80s CP Company police jacket. It's a nylon jacket and it is to be found in the long line of Dutch police jacket that Massimo Osti got inspired in the early 80s. I can show you a picture here of the most famous one. It's this one, but he did make a whole collection that really got inspired by these Dutch police jacket that he found. And for collectors, these jackets are extremely wanted, or in general, all the production of the early 80s that have the diamond label on it are wanted, and they deserve to be preserved for the future. I have to say, this is not my jacket. A fellow collector posted this jacket like half a year ago or so, and it was very run down, it was dirty and had some cuts, and I immediately texted him and said like, hey, can you send me this jacket? I want to restore it for you. All I want to do is a video and I want the challenge. Because when I saw this jacket, I immediately realized that it's going to be tough, because not only it's nylon, and nylon is not the most durable fabric there is. It rips easily, it fades, and you can get holes. I've seen a lot of nylon jackets that really got destroyed over time. And second, what I found interesting is the use of material in this jacket. If you can see, it has a shearling color. It has multiple different leather applications, from whom not all are real leather. I had to figure out that this here is actually not real leather. It's polyester and fake leather. These leather patches are real leather. But you also have the very light suede leather moving pleats at the back, and some greenish suede leather application on the shoulders. So all in all, different materials to work with. And yeah, I want to give you a step-by-step of what I did with this jacket to fix it or to repair it to an extent that it is wearable or that you can keep in your archive. About the history of this jacket, as I mentioned, in the early 80s, Massimo Osti was inspired by Dutch police jackets of the 60s and 70s, and he used the basic shape, the cropped shape bomber style, to come up with a line of various different jackets, all under the diamond shaped label. They're all a bit different, but they're hugely collector's items, and every single one of them deserves to be restored. What I do have here is another diamond shaped coat that I'm working on. This is my wife's coat. She loves to wear it in summer, in winter, in winter, and you can see that this is all connected into one kind of cohesive design ideas with the navy and the leather. And what I extremely like is the splash of color. Like, typical for that time was the gold lining inside, the quilted gold lining. I found one more jacket who has this, and it's not a CP Company, it's a Bonneville. Let me show you. Here I got it. This is also an early 80s Bonneville jacket, which has also the gold lining that Massimo Osti really enjoyed using in the early 80s. I feel like it gives the garment a bit more like class and elegance, and a bit away from the purely military or police functions that where the inspiration came from. This one specifically was really run down and it had a lot of holes that I had to patch. But first, I really had to clean the nylon, and I couldn't put it in the wash because it had this leather application and that would have destroyed it. So I had to hand scrub the whole jacket multiple times in order to get this nice deep blue out that Massimo Osti was inspired by in the early 80s. After I scrubbed the whole nylon, it started to get back to its original nice deep blue. I brushed the shearling color for a long time to just get it fluffy again. As people have seen my restoration video about the D1 jacket, it takes ages and you just like have to you know, use this brush and yeah, just keep brushing it. And that was something I did for a couple of nights to make this really nice fluffy. Luckily the color is absolutely intact, there's no rips, it's beautiful, and like none of the shearling came undone. Another thing that I had to repair was, or clean for matter, was like these moving pleats in the back, and I did my best to erase all the old how do I say, it's the chicken outside are making noise, I'm so sorry. We are in the city, but we have chickens, so they're a bit noisy. Yeah, I used a special eraser to clean this. Worked relatively well, even though after more than 40 years, some of the stains were impossible to get out. But my goal was not to get this jacket back to a state or where it looked like new. I always have the philosophy that you should see repairs on a garment, and that you should see that someone mended the garment along the way. It's kind of scars that this jacket have that like brings it even more to life, and that symbolize that like it was loved and it was cared for. Even though garments rip, things happen, but the fixing, that makes it more interesting, and that creates a more interesting overall appear. One thing the previous owner or whoever owned it fixed was a rip here in the pocket that they kind of glued together, and I deliberately let it didn't remove it or put a patch over because I want people to see that this needed to be fixed at one point. Another real difficulty was this. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a ribbon that is sewn into the nylon, and it got like ripped on multiple spots, and it was impossible to, it seemed impossible to be fixed because the nylon is rather thin, and it was probably not designed, or Massimo Osti could not foresee how this jacket interacts in 40 years. And it just rips apart, and the whole thread just came loose inside. So what I had to do is like stitch this ribbon into the nylon how it used to be. And at the very beginning I didn't even notice that the ribbon came apart. I thought this is just a jacket, but once I realized it became loose and I really saw that the sewing machine stitching came undone, and that the thread inside was just like in between the lining and the outer shell, I realized, oh, this was meant to be sewn in. And when I hand sew it in, you start to realize the actual pockets become its own shape. I don't know if you see that. I hope you can see it. And that, by doing that and realizing this is how it's meant to be, the whole jacket suddenly turns into like something far more structured. I could really see the shape coming back to life, as like the whole pocket is like its own, not separate piece, but it creates this round shape to the pockets. Sadly though, The pockets itself are very much destroyed and there's not so much I could do. I stitched over some of them to just fix it, but yeah, time tells, and as long as I don't replace the whole front panel, this is just what it's going to be. But you see the mending, because there was no other way for me to do that and to keep the distinct shape of the pockets, which I realized this is actually the design. You know, it's like a bit like archaeological findings where you like dig up and then you go like, oh, this is how Osti meant it to be. And it was lost its shape completely before. And only by repairing I realized that. And that was the point that I enjoyed most. Like, it's a 2 pockets. So this front pocket goes on top, but this bottom pocket goes all the way to this thread, this cord here. So it is double stressed on this rim. That's probably also why it ripped over the years. You not only have this, but also the zip pocket that both put tension on this sewn in cord. I hope you enjoyed me doing this restoration videos and showing you what I do on jackets. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in design history, and if you're interested in the connection between workwear and military garments and high fashion of the 80s, especially Massimo Osti. I'm really trying to give you original content, no AI whatsoever. And if I talk about a garment, I only talk about a garment that I actually have. You will not see like stock footage just popped up on my screen. You will only see the real garment. So I know what I'm talking about when I tell you what I discovered. I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time.